DreAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as DreAllDay, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is, we are on part 4 of our ongoing series, marketing things that you should know. Before we get into this, I remind you of two things. First of all, workonmygame.com. Make sure you are getting my emails every day. And if you didn't know about Work on Your Game University, I'll give you a preview of the type of stuff you can learn and start applying on a high level here. And we get even deeper when you're a member of the university, which you're going to hear here in this episode. So workonyourgameuniversity.com if you have not looked into how you can have me as your direct coach. Getting into our points, picking up on point number 10, right where we left off. Things about marketing that you need to know. Marketing things you should know. Number 10. Great marketing is about psychology more than it is about anything else. Great marketing is all about psychology. What does that mean? It means understanding the thought process going on in the mind of your prospects, customers, audience members, and even total strangers who may come across your message. The better you do this, the better your marketing will convert. Converting just means getting people to take whatever action you want them to take. And conversion does not always mean buying. Conversion just may mean somebody signing up for your email list. Like I just told you, go to workonmygame.com, get on my email list so you can get my emails. Because then you can also market to people through email. Conversion may be getting someone to check a box. Conversion may be getting someone to just have a conversation with you. So conversion is not always selling, but the better you are in understanding the psychology of the people you're dealing with, the better you'll be able to get them to take the step that you want them to take. And again, certain steps may lead up to the point of making a sale, but not always direct and not always immediate. So psychology is about understanding the way other people are thinking, connecting with the way that they are thinking, helping them understand that you understand them, and then moving them to action based on that mutual understanding. That's what psychology is about. Think about your best friends and the strongest relationships that you have. Usually, you and those people are on the same wavelength in terms of thinking. Doesn't mean you have to agree on every single thing, but you're on the same wavelength. You are psychographically aligned. I talked about this. I did a whole episode on this in episode number 3242. I did a 2-part series on psychographic alignment, and it was just a few weeks ago. So if you didn't catch that one, make sure you go back and catch that episode, understanding about psychographic alignment. And the key, this is the key, psychographic alignment. This is the key to your marketing and the key to tapping into your ideal audiences. When you know exactly who your target audience is and you know exactly what they are thinking and exactly what they need, then you can give it to them in such a way that it feels as if you are reading their minds. You need to find people who see things the way you see them, or make sure you see things the way that they see them, whoever they are, who look at life the way you look at life, and who feel as if you understand their thinking, even if you have never talked to them personally. That's the key right there. Let me say that part one more time. The people in your audience, your target ideal people, when your marketing is hitting the right spot, they're going to be people who feel as if you are reading their minds, even though you have never even met them. And because they haven't made themselves known to you, you may not even know that they exist, but they know very well that you exist because they are listening to what you're saying or reading what you're writing or watching what you're doing. And it seems as if you are like perfectly mentally aligned with them, even though you never met them before. That's the effect that you want to have when you're doing it the right way. And that's your ideal person. Okay. And that's also my ideal person. And there are no exceptions to this. When I was putting out basketball content back in the days before many of you had heard of me, I knew exactly who my audience was. My audience was 13 to 24-year-old males who were not only basketball enthusiasts, but they were aspiring basketball players. They were not just enthusiastic about the game. They were aspiring in their performance of basketball, meaning these were not people who just played basketball for fun on the weekends. These are not people who just watch basketball because they like talking about it and they might get on the court and play around every now and then for fun. These are people who played basketball with an aspiration of moving up from their current level to a higher level in the game. And the sport of basketball, just like every other sport, is highly competitive because there's a lot of people trying to get only a few opportunities. I knew exactly who my audience was. And the reason I knew who my audience was so well, and I was able to read their minds and know exactly what they needed before they expressed the need, was because I was solving the problems of someone who was just 10 years younger than me. The people in my audience were me, just 10 years younger. So I knew every single thing that I used to need as a basketball player, and I wish someone else had taught me, and I started teaching it to them. So in the marketing and in the business world, this is what we call scratching your own itch. When you are scratching your own itch, i.e. solving a problem for people that you wish someone had solved for you, because you are helping people who are just you. They're just 10 steps behind you. So you're helping people who are living a life that you used to live. You figured out all the issues in that life and solved them. Now you're just helping other people solve those same problems faster than they would have solved them on their own, like you had to do. Solving your own itch is often one of the best places to start in business, because you already know all the inherent problems that come with the position that your target audience is in, because you lived it yourself. And it doesn't mean that it's not possible to start a business doing something that is not scratching your own itch. For example, if I was to go into, selling luxury condos on the beach, I'm not scratching my own itch. I was never in a position where someone was trying to sell me a luxury condo on the beach. Doesn't mean I can't become really, really good at that space. If I understand the basics of human psychology and selling and marketing and relationship building, as I do, as I'm explaining right here in this series, I could go sell luxury condos on the beach and do very well. You don't have to scratch your own itch to be a successful business person. That's my point. But when you are scratching your own itch, you have a built-in advantage in business, in that you already have inherently the built-in knowledge of exactly what is going on in the minds of your target customer, because you have been the target customer. If you have never been the target customer, you can still find out what's going on in the minds of your target customer. You just have to do extra work to figure it out. You have to actually go out there and talk to people to find out what's going on in their minds, because you have no idea. You have no frame of reference yet. You can very easily develop one, but you have to do the work to get it. Now, when it comes to scratching your own itch, you can use yourself as a frame of reference. Just look at your own life if you are good enough at digging your thoughts out of your head. Not everybody's good at that. I'm very good at it. So I can take every problem I had in the past, and I can very easily explain to myself what those problems were, and then tell myself, how would I answer that problem knowing what I know now? That becomes my content. And it's actually a skill that I still use to this very day. And when I was talking to those basketball players back then, the reason I was able to tap into exactly what they were dealing with is because I just dealt with it 5 years ago. I got past it. Now let me tell you what to do about it. It's the same thing you want to do with your audience, and there are no exceptions to this. The better you do this, the better you tap into the psychology of your audience, the stronger your audience will bond with your message. And when they bond with your message, that's when your marketing starts to hit. And if your marketing is that good, then the sales are not far behind. Point number 11. Today's topic, once again, is marketing things that you need to understand. Number 11, people buy things to solve problems. Always keep this in mind. When people buy things, they are doing it because they want to solve a problem. When you do any form of marketing, you need to always remember this. There is let me see if I can find this. What is it? See if I have it. I think I have it somewhere here on my phone. So there's a list that I want to share with you that I got out of a marketing book. Yeah, it's right here. So this marketing book is one of my favorites. It is called Copywriting Secrets. It's by this guy named Jim Edwards. And any of you who has talked to me about this stuff, I've recommended this book to many people. Anyone who wants to get into marketing, especially if you want to do your own marketing and you want to get better at the verbiage you use in your marketing, especially online, and it can be offline, then you should read this book. Again, it's called Copywriting Secrets by Jim Edwards. I'm going to list for you the top, I believe there's 10. Yeah, the top 10 reasons that people do anything. And you're going to notice that many of them are negatively rooted. And not all of them, actually. I'll say about half of them. So let me just read the list. Number 1, make money. Number 2, save money. Number 3, to save time. Number 4, to avoid effort. Number 5, to escape mental or physical pain. Number 6, to get more comfort. Number 7, to achieve greater cleanliness or hygiene or better health. Number 8, to gain praise. Number 9, to feel more loved. And number 10, to increase popularity or social status. All of these could, in a way, be framed as negative. And that's the reason why this list matters. Because the better you understand this list, if you can frame all of these as negative in a negative way, you're more likely to move people to action. Why? Because it is human nature that we are more in tune to avoiding pain than we are to gaining pleasure. In other words, someone will work harder to avoid pain than they will work to gain pleasure, no matter what the pleasure is. A person will work harder to avoid losing $500,000 than they will work to gain a positive $1 million. Even though you're saying, why does that even make sense? You might as well let the $500,000 go and do all the work to get the whole $1 million. You make more money. In the long run, you end up with more money. You end up at least $500 in the plus. Why do all that work to avoid losing $500,000? Is because it's human nature. We are very finely in tune to losses, defeats, threats, etc. We are not that in tune to gains, advances in moving forward. This is the reason why most people are average. So if you can frame anything about money, you can frame it around how to make sure you don't lose money. That's better than telling people how they can make money. If you can tell people how they can save time and get things done faster, not even say get things done faster, because that sounds like an ambitious thing, but instead, don't waste time. Don't lose time. You see how the framing just changes? How you can show someone how something is really easy, how they don't have to do anything, how you can get, remember 8-minute abs? Back in the day, there was a thing called 8-minute abs. And nowadays, you even got the ab machines. Nowadays, you can put this thing around your waist. And I'm not talking about the waist trainers. I see women wearing these, or what do they call those? Waist trainers, corsets. I'm talking about in the gym. I see women in the gym wearing these things around their midsections that basically shapes up their midsection. So I guess when you take it off, your body stays that way. I don't know if that's healthy, but I see a lot of women wearing those things. Even trainers, I see wearing these things in the gym. And what is it doing? It's shaping your body in a way that you're not actually having to do anything. You just put that on. What is it doing? Saving you effort. It's saving effort. 8-minute abs was the thing where I think 8-minute abs might have been a workout program, but then there was an ab machine that it wasn't even a machine. It was a contraption. You put it around your waist and it was electronic, and you push the button and it would start like moving your abs, kind of like, I guess this is the exercise that you weren't doing. The machine would do it for you. So escaping mental or physical pain, right? Getting out of pain. This is the reason why the therapy industry exists. Getting people out of mental or physical pain, the physical therapy and mental therapy. Get more comfort. And more comfort usually means less effort. And so it's a combination of things. Be in better shape, better hygiene to feel better. You'll notice commercials about mouthwash or toothpaste or about deodorant or any type of Febreze, anything that makes things smell better. How do they usually frame those commercials? They frame them around you smell bad, so now we're going to help you not smell bad anymore. Do you see how the framing is negative? That negative framing is more likely to move you to action and say, hey, we're going to make you smell good. No, we're going to tell you how you're going to stop smelling bad. That frame matters. Gaining praise, that's more of a positive one. Feeling more loved. How is that one usually framed? How you're not loving? How do they frame ads for for male erectile dysfunction or penis enlargement or lasting longer in bed? How do they frame it? Those are not usually framed as we're going to make you this amazing rock star sex addict. What we're going to do is we're going to change the situation of your wife or your girlfriend or just women, period, being disappointed by you in the bedroom. And a lot of men, that pricks their ego. All right, you don't want to feel like you are disappointing a woman in bed and that she's leaving knowing that you can't please her physically and she has to look elsewhere to get pleased. You don't want to have that problem anymore. Okay, get these pills and we'll solve that problem. Do you see how that framing, that negative framing is much more powerful than a positive framing? And increased popularity or social status. All right, so you don't want to be the scrawny person on the beach who gets sand kicked in their face by the bully. You want to be the one kicking sand in somebody else's face if you're going to do it that way. The whole point is people buy to solve problems. And if you can frame your thing as a solution to a problem, it is more likely to move people to action than if you just frame it as a positive gain that they can get, just as a general rule. So any form of marketing, this is why it's more effective to go negative than it is to go positive, as a general rule. So if I'm selling fitness training, I'm more likely to get your attention if I tell you what you're disappointed about, like you being embarrassed to take your shirt off at the beach, than if I say, hey, you're going to have six-pack abs. Now, the product is going to get you the six-pack abs and you won't be embarrassed about having your shirt off at the beach. It's going to do both things, but which one is more likely to get your attention? Me mentioning that you're embarrassed to take your shirt off at the beach. Me saying, I'm more likely, if I'm talking to that would be for a man, let's say. If it was for a woman, I may say something like, do you not like the way that your husband, let's say if I was selling makeovers, you don't like the way that your husband looks at other women when you're out with him at a restaurant or at the mall, then that's one way to frame, get my makeover package. Another way is to say, I'm going to make you look beautiful again. That one, it may work for some people, but I'm more likely to get a lot more people to pay attention if I frame it the first way, because it's making them feel bad. You're feeling bad. Your self-esteem is down because your husband's not even looking at you the right way anymore. I'm going to make him look at you the way he looks at those other bitches. And that's going to move you to action much more. Why? Because it's your ego. Anytime you can touch somebody's ego, you're more likely to move them to action. Again, as a general rule. So it's easier to get people's attention by telling them the negative things they will get rid of than the positive things they will get. If I'm selling a strength program to men, again, I want to tell you how you're going to dominate your opponents or you'll be able to beat somebody up rather than just tell you you're going to have big muscles and you can lift heavy weights and look good in the mirror, even though you're going to get that too. Focusing on problems that get solved or the problems that people perceive exist is a much more effective strategy by simple human psychology. We are wired to be more alert to threats and danger than we are drawn to success, happiness, and gain. People will do more to avoid losing $5 than they will do to gain making $10. Point number 12. Today's topic, once again, is marketing things you should understand. Number 12, social proof is everything. If I'm going to tell you one thing that will help your marketing, if you could do one thing, I'm going to tell you almost 20 things in this series. There's one thing I would tell you to take away from this series that you absolutely need to make sure you are doing on a consistent basis. Just one. Here it is. Actually, I'm going to give you three. Write down all three. Here they go. You ready? Social proof, social proof, social proof. All right. 3 times. Social proof. What is social proof? Depending on your age bracket, you may say the young people these days like to say receipts. What is a receipt? A receipt is a log of a transaction. It is letting you know a transaction happened. It's letting you know something occurred and is a paper documentation that this thing happened. Receipts matter a lot. What is a receipt when it comes to social proof? It is someone else saying, I did something with this person or this product or this service and it was really good and I would do it again and you be a dummy to not do it. That is a form of social proof. That's a receipt. The more receipts you have, the better. I have an entire website dedicated to receipts. It's called DreAllDay.com. You can go to it right now and you can see. It's just a whole page of receipts. More receipts than you have time to even read or look at or watch. That is my form of social proof. Anytime I'm selling something, especially online, you look at wherever I'm selling it, you're going to see social proof on that page. Why? Because social proof matters. What is social proof? As opposed to you talking up your own stuff, because anytime you're selling something, of course, you're going to make your stuff sound amazing, right? When I tell you go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, I'm making it sound amazing. And I am giving you a demonstration of how good I am at articulating my thoughts and ideas and strategies and systems. I give you a demo every single day. Does it look and sound amazing? Yes, but all the material is coming from me. You know what? You trust a little bit more if you hear from somebody else. So what do? I put social proof right there on the page. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. The bulk of the page is social proof. And again, what is social proof? It's other people who are not Dre saying how great Dre is. And one person saying how great I am is worth more in the minds of the average consumer than 10 times me telling you how great I am. If I tell you I'm great 100 days in a row, that means something. But if one other person who looks and sounds like you and to whom you can relate says that I'm great, that's worth 10 times the 100 times that I said it. Why? Because again, human psychology. Of course, a person selling their own thing is going to make it sound great. But somebody else saying it, that's a whole different ballgame. That's why you gather social proof. This is why you see with a lot of books, you'll see what they call a blurb in a book or on a book, maybe on the front cover or the back cover or on the inside cover of the book or the first few pages of the book or what? Those are called blurbs. When the author goes and gets a bunch of other people who are maybe well-known names or people who have credibility or people who have said something positive about them, and they put those in the book. Why do they do that? You already bought the book. Why do they do that? They do that to frame your brain as the reader to think positively about what you're about to read, because look at all these other credible people who like this person. You would be a fool to not like them too. That is human psychology. They're planting that in your subconscious that all these other people like them. How could you not like them? That's the reason why you gather social proof. And the reason why all of that matters is because it works. Social proof works. Human beings usually want to know that they are not the only person doing a thing. Most human beings do not want to be the first one doing something. They don't want to be the guinea pig, so to speak, or the first one to do something that nobody else is doing. People are more likely to do a thing when they see other people doing it first. This is, again, human nature. A lot of marketing is just psychology. And social proof is a huge psychological trip that works on people. It works on me, it works on you, and it works on everybody else. So you need to keep your receipts. What does this mean? Collect as many receipts as you can possibly get. Every time you see a receipt, collect it. Put your receipts on display. Make sure people can see them. You need to put them out there. There's a reason why I have a whole domain name. I got a domain name just to show you my receipts. That's not the reason I got that domain name. I think I just thought it sounded cool and I just needed some place to deploy it. So that's where I put it. Those are my receipts. I may get a different one in the future. Purpose of social proof is to show new people who are thinking about doing business with you that other people have already made that decision and they're happy that they did it, because no one wants to deal with the regret of making a bad decision. That's why people do a whole lot of thinking and research and clicking around and reading before they make a buying decision, even though they know they're going to buy it and they know they need it. This is what humans do. And people take long because they need something to kind of push them over the edge. And that something is usually not your words, it's the words of people who are not you. That's the reason anywhere you go, you see social proof. You go to the dentist's office. I have a dental appointment next week, as a matter of fact. When you go to the dentist's office, the last time I was there, they had a big book, a hardcover, like a coffee table book. And you know what that coffee table book was? It was a whole bunch of before and after pictures of people whose teeth were all messed up, and then the after picture of the teeth looking great after the dental practice performed their magic. What is that? Social proof. That is social proof right there. You need to have as much of this as possible. Okay? Let me say that again. Have as much of this as possible. I have an entire book, like literally a physical book of social proof. Why? Well, because what did I just tell you? You need to have as much of this as possible. All right. All humans understand unconsciously that a person's always going to talk up their own stuff. So you need to have other people talking up your stuff. Simple as that. This is why companies gather and display testimonials and positive results of their outcomes that they have gotten for their customers and clients. In the fitness industry, you go to somebody's website. What do you want to see on their website? Before and after pictures. So here's this person looking fat and tired and not happy with themselves and look like they're embarrassed to even take the picture, and the picture's all shadowy. And then after picture is they're in perfect lighting in a bikini and they're smiling and their muscles are all showing and they're flexing. It's amazing how happy people get when they get in shape. And the lighting all of a sudden gets better. When someone gets in shape, why is the lighting always better in the after picture than the before picture? The point is social proof. Social proof. If a lawyer says they help people sue companies for medical malpractice or workers' compensation, what do you expect to see somewhere in their marketing material? Some social proof of people who they help do that. And here's how much money we got. What is that? Social proof. People telling you how much money they won in the settlement or how happy they are with the legal outcome. All of this makes it much easier for the next customer to make a buying decision because they see that somebody else did it before. They're more likely to follow and do it next. So while I often tell you that you don't always want to find yourself following the crowd, on this point right here, you should use this because number one, it works. And number two, you are just as susceptible to social proof as everybody else is. All right. Everybody's susceptible to this because social proof is a real thing. Now, I do want to know that somebody else has used this and they got a positive result. I will be the first person to try on some things. I'm the type of person who would do that. But in many cases, unconsciously, I'm not. I want to know that you got some social proof. I want to know you got a track record here. You've been around for all this time. Okay, what's your track record? I'm on this website called Fiverr.com right now, hiring some people to do some freelance work for me. One of the things I look at is their ratings. How many jobs have they done already? And what did the people who hired them in the past say about them? I want to know. Why? Because I'm more likely to hire somebody who has already been hired by other people and who are happy that they did it. So gather as much social proof as possible. Never stop gathering it and display it so people can see it. And your social proof does not have to be some big thing. It doesn't have to be somebody doing a highly produced 10-minute video talking about you. Social proof can be somebody leaving a positive comment on your social media posts. Social proof can be someone sending you an email and just telling you that they like the stuff that you wrote. Social proof can be you getting off the stage at an event and a bunch of people walking up to shake your hand and take pictures with you. If you can get someone taking pictures or taking video of you taking those pictures and taking video, that is social proof. Why? That's social proof because it's like, oh, look at all the people who want to be around him. Okay, I guess I want to be around them too. Subconsciously, this is what it does to people. That's why you want to have as much of it as possible. And again, I just told you I have a whole website called DreAllDay.com dedicated to social proof. So if you need any more social proof than that, I don't know what it is. Let's recap. This is part 4 of our ongoing mini series, things about marketing that you should know. Number 10, great marketing is about psychology more than anything else. So tap into the thoughts, feelings, and decision-making process of your prospects. The better you understand them, the better you'll be able to do this. The easiest way to do it is when you're scratching your own itch, i.e. helping people who are in a position that you used to be in because you know exactly what they're thinking. Number 11, people buy to solve problems. That means whenever you are selling something, even if it's going to help them get a great result, you will probably get more engagement on what you're offering if you frame it in a way as if you are solving a problem. Because anything positive people want, they're still solving a problem of something that they don't want. They're solving a problem of a thing they want to get rid of. So if you want to help people make enough money to go on 3 vacations a year, then you can frame it instead of saying, well, help you make enough money to go on 3 vacations a year. Instead, you can say, aren't you sick and tired of not being able to take your family on vacation? Same outcome, but you're framing it differently. And this is very important. This is copywriting, basically. And number 12, social proof is everything these days. Get as much social proof as you can. Gather every piece that you come across and make sure you have it on display somewhere where people can see it. Again, you go into a dentist's office, there's going to be a book right on the table in the waiting room showing you all the great work they've done in the past. And listen, you already booked the appointment. You already know you're paying for it. And they still give you the social proof before you go in there and sit with the dentist. All right, do you understand how much that matters? That's why. All that said, folks, tomorrow we're getting to the next point in this series. If you have not yet, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Just go see the social proof that I just told you was on there, so you know I'm not lying. And if you want to take the next step, we got an option for you to do it right there. Work on your game. Dre all